Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at another one of these just insane stories that has just happened to an IRL streamer in Japan. Now, over the last couple of weeks, we've seen, it seems like an increasing amount of stories of people who have some sort of issue with like IRL streamers or whatever just kind of showing up wherever they're streaming and causing problems. Just a couple days ago, I made a video where a couple of American female streamers, Valkyrie, and Miru, I believe it was, they were all live streaming and a guy showed up and was trying to like get one of their numbers, and then when he was rejected, he followed them around like threatening to kill them and all kinds of just like insane shit. Well, tragically in the story we're about to take a look at here, the woman was actually brutally killed on stream by the guy who found her or whatever here, and it blows my mind that people are willing to take any of this far, right? Streaming is, I think, never that important to where like you should feel inclined to kill somebody because of their stream or whatever here. Now, I don't know the reason off the top why this woman here was killed on her stream. The title of the article suggests it could be a multitude of different things, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the article here and kind of piece this one together because it really just doesn't make sense to me why this continues to even be a thing, really. So, a Japanese streamer was stabbed multiple times while IRL streaming to over 6,000 people in Tokyo on March 11th at 9:50 a.m. Japanese Standard Time. The streamer Airi Sato was walking the streets of Shinjuku while live streaming on the Japanese platform Who Watch. According to Need to Know, she suddenly began screaming for over a minute before a man covered in blood and holding a knife appeared on screen. Quote, "Are you dead yet?" asked the alleged attacker, described as a hater or anti-fan in Japanese media. The broadcast continued with all of this going on, with fans eagerly concerned about the well-being of the woman even as emergency sirens roared over the black screen. Quote, according to police, the suspect said he wanted his money back, leading to speculation that he may have been a viewer who donated money to her streams, said journalist Jeffrey Hall. Alright, so just a fucking insane news story to begin with, right? Like, usually when you hear about IRL streamers, nothing ever actually happens. I mean, there's been thousands of IRL streamers who've just, done their thing over time, but then there's very specific situations like this you hear about where things just go wildly too fucking far. And like I said, the timing of this compared to what just happened the other day with the other, it's just scary to think, man. Like, I really, as an IRL streamer right now, I would, if that was my job, I would be reconsidering, man, because you really unfortunately never fucking know with the internet, bro. And people don't seem to understand this, unfortunately. As cool as the internet is, you can do a lot of fun stuff on it. There's a lot of websites to check out and things like that. But when you're dealing with these other people, especially anonymously and whatnot, you never really know who it is you're talking to on the other side. Or like in this instance, as an IRL streamer, she had 6,000 people watching. You never know who one of those 6,000 people could be. I mean, just statistically, I would imagine if you have 6,000 people in like a big room, one of those people has to turn out to be like a fucking complete psychopath, right? Who's willing to do something like this. It really blows my mind that that is the way that things are. But dude, just you never know online with these people because some of these people have literally nothing to fucking lose. Like this guy apparently was willing to hunt down this streamer and commit murder on live stream, by the way, in like broad daylight, where everyone's gonna see it, everyone's gonna know who did it, right? These types of people just have nothing going on, man. Now, the details, a little bit gruesome for me, man. I hated reading this. Like, from the way it sounds, this man was stabbing this poor woman for well over a minute before anything even happened. I mean, from the sound of it, she was still alive. Like, that is such a horrible thing to have to go through, bro. Obviously, she couldn't really defend herself in this instance. I'm assuming he came up on her by surprise and did this. Like, she probably didn't even see the guy coming in the first place. Just such an excruciating and terrible way to go out in front of all these people. So, obviously, rest in peace to this poor woman who was just fucking murdered. Apparently, this guy wanted his money back, and so people are thinking like he was a donator or something. I don't know how Japanese streaming works in comparison to like here in the United States, but all the times that I've streamed, most people, if they ever donate, which is already like a smaller portion of the audience anyway, they usually usually are only donating like $1, $5, maybe $10, right? It's not like they're donating $70,000 to a streamer or something fucking crazy. Now, granted, he may have dumped a bunch of money over time or whatever, but I cannot imagine he ever dropped enough money that he would need it back from this fucking streamer he was watching, to the point where he hunts them down and fucking kills them in broad daylight. I mean, there is just, I don't know, I don't think there's enough money in streaming for you to be able to do something like that, right? That sounds like some sort of mafia kind of shit. It's nonsense to me. The suspect, a man in his 40s identified as Kenichi Takano, told police that he, quote, didn't mean to kill her. Takano reportedly visited a restaurant where Sato worked since August 2022 after watching her broadcasts and had sent her money. Quote, I managed to raise funds with my savings and consumer loans and lent Sato more than 2 million yen for living and other expenses. I made up my mind to attack her as she wouldn't give my money back, he told police. The Standard reports Sato had died after wounds to her head, neck, and abdomen, that she was found unconscious before being rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. So honestly, this whole fucking situation just sounds weird, right? So he's known this woman for like 2.5 years, I guess. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know if he found her at the restaurant because he liked her streaming, or if it was just some guy who walked in wanting fucking sushi or something, and she's like, oh yeah, I stream, and he, tuned in after that. I don't know. But either way, I guess he decided to loan this girl almost $14,000 for living and shit like that. And then I guess she wouldn't give the money back or whatever, so he just decided to fucking brutally murder her, right? Now, that is different than like donating to her stream. At first, that's what I thought, right? I thought like, he was chatting in there and he was like, hey, love your streams, here's $5, stuff like that, right? But this sounds more like an arrangement loan or something, right? Like he's talking about he took out consumer loans and all this other shit for this woman. First off, you have to be a complete fucking lunatic to do that anyway, right? How many of you would walk into like a fucking Burger King today, right? You see a woman at the cash register who's like, yeah, I stream on Twitch. And you're like, okay, let me go take out $15,000 in loans so you can live. Even though we just met yesterday, right? That just doesn't make sense. That doesn't add up at all. Who the fuck would do this? And this guy's in his 40s and he's this angry over streaming and shit like that anyway. It's like, this guy was clearly a fucking loser, right? Like he clearly just had nothing going on for himself. And truth be told, he allowed himself to kind of get played here. I mean, even from the way it's being described, it never sounds like she made an arrangement to give him back anything. It sounds like he was just like, oh, I like you or I like your streams or whatever, so here's the money. And it sounds like it was a gift. I mean, if it's a gift and she's not like on any record or whatever saying, hey, I'll pay you back, I mean, you're kind of opening yourself up to this shit here, bro. But to go as far as murdering her in revenge, like over something that you did, like a mistake that you as a person made, just fucking insanity. These kinds of people, bro, they cannot be walking around with everybody else, right? These people, they gotta be locked up in the loony house. This is the type of person you put in a padded room for the rest of his life in a straitjacket and just let him go. So obviously there's still like a lot of confusing details about this whole story. We probably will never know like the full extent, like what really led up to all this, how this was all even started. We know what we know, and that's probably all we're really gonna know about this one. But my thing is it just seems like recently, especially, all of the reasons why I wouldn't want to be an IRL streamer, they're just on full display right here, bro. It's already kind of bad enough, I feel like, streaming at your own setup at your house or at a studio, because even then, right, people fucking swat these streamers, they send the police over and harass you, and they fuck with you and all this other kind of stuff, right? That's already bad enough, and that's already a big enough problem to deal with. But this whole IRL streaming thing opens up an entirely new avenue of danger. I think people, they think that like when they see these IRL streams, like, oh, there's no way that someone could find out like where this person is or like, what location they're currently at, right? But I mean, you got to think like this guy seems like he was a local, you know what I mean? Because he knew the streamer and like I think he lived in Tokyo here too. So like he probably was able to know, like, because it was like his neighborhood or whatever, right? Like, oh, she's down there at the fucking, Shake Shack on First Street. You know what I mean? And even then, like, there's just people online who are so deranged, they're so insane, they've got literally nothing better to do. They will dedicate their time to finding out where you're at just to fuck with you. It's like a level of stream sniping or something like that, bro. It's just insane. And of course, being out in public like this, I mean, you can never blame the woman here because like everyone has a right to go outside and be in public, right? But on top of that, I mean, let's imagine like you're walking down the street, you know, there's alleyways, there's businesses, there's houses. There's a lot of different places to fucking hide. And if you're one of these like crazy lunatics trying to hunt this poor woman down over money you gave her, there's so many different places to hide and for you to be out of sight. I feel like it's 100% impossible to fully know your full surroundings at all times, right? Like it only takes a couple of seconds of having your guard down before something like this happens. It's just such a horrible story, man. I think because it happened in Japan, it probably will get a lot less coverage here in America than it probably deserves. But this is once again one of those things, man. I think that this is like one of those very shocking, cautious tales of what this whole thing entails, because IRL streaming, I'm sure it goes great for most people who do it, but I mean, if you make even one enemy by accident out there, you're really just in a position to have a death that everyone's gonna remember. And it's just so shitty. I can't imagine sitting there watching like that scream. This is someone you enjoy watching, and you have to watch this like brutal murder take place, man. I'm sure a lot of people were fucked up seeing that. You know what I mean? They didn't want to see that ever. From the sound of it, like, you know, you just hear this woman screaming. It's like a black screen. The occasional shots you see of the suspect here, he's just coated in blood. Yeah, that would freak me the fuck out, man. I don't know. Just such a sad story. It really blows your mind. Like, just how far people are willing to take this internet shit, dude. But anyway, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about this Japanese IRL streamer and signing out.